Okay guys, and welcome back. Today we're doing a new review, and today we're going to take a look at the Gentle Giant 2015 Comic-Con exclusive Grunt 1/6 scale jumbo G.I. Joe figure. So as you guys remember, I did a review recently on the Rock and Roll, which is their first official release, but upon getting that, doing some research, and I found out about this exclusive, so hunted him down and picked him up right away. So this came out during the San Diego Comic-Con as an exclusive. It's pretty cool. They give you Grunt in one of the old Foot Lockers from G.I. Joe's 12-inch line in the 60s, something that they would encourage you to pick up to store all your G.I. Joe weapons. So pretty cool indeed. Really liking this. Got the metal clasp. You'll notice it's got infantry trooper Grunt 1/6 scale jumbo figure on there. Bringing it around to the top. See, it's the convention exclusive. So pretty cool indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this open and give you guys a closer look at Gentle Giant's Grunt. Stay tuned. Okay, so I've taken off the wrapping and packaging from the outer box. And one thing I got to tell you, you get slammed with a smell of that paint and the wood. This is an actual wood Foot Locker. You could definitely see the metal clasps. It's put together, looks like staple construction on there. But pretty quality little piece here. And again, the paint, you smell it. It's got that brand new paint smell. It's pretty awesome. And looking at it from the top here, kind of back up a little bit. So you can put down your name, rank, and serial number. So really cool. Definitely dig this. This is a really neat idea for an exclusive. Not really 100% sure if it's a great idea for getting Grunt on the market, because I think a lot of people might want to add him to the collection, and making him an exclusive might be a little off-putting to some. But I'm going to open this up and show you guys what is packaged inside. So kind of just bring the camera up a bit to get a better idea. So this is the interior of the box, and there's Grunt packaged in there pretty nicely. That looks cool. Looks like he's got some protective baggie on him. And you notice, looks like we got some cool accessories, backpack, helmet, and his M16 all packaged up. One thing to note, I'm missing a pin in the hinge. Not a big deal. I actually think I heard something fall when I opened it, so I might have it. Just got to go take a look. So stay tuned, and I'm going to get this guy out of box and show you a closer look at him. Okay, so here we go. We got Grunt out of package, and yet another really cool, awesome vintage 82 straight arm reproduction here. Let's give you a brief overall look at the figure. Very cool. Really digging the quality on these particular pieces. Really well done. So let's focus on Grunt's head sculpt. Start off there. And again, another accurate reproduction of Grunt. Really great looking paint apps. It's got that shiny, glossy look like the original figures had. Pretty clean. No real paint slop anywhere, so that's definitely welcome. Going down from there, you notice the Grunt's got one of the most common chest and arm pieces, which is the double strap web gear with the grenade and knife attached. Also a couple of pouches up here, you'll notice. Really well executed there. You can see that plastic, very much like rock and roll, is that high quality glossy plastic. And you'll notice his pouches on his arm, just like the original figure. I will do a comparison when we get there to the original figure. And again, the Hasbro logo on the belt buckle. Nice little Easter egg that they put in. And then you'll notice on the Grunt figure, as opposed to the Rock and Roll had his pockets painted gold, which was the same paint used to paint his bandoliers. On Grunt, they are plain, which actually makes more sense. Looks better that way. And down to his glossy brown and green combat boots. So Grunt is G.I. Joe's infantry trooper, and he is one of the original green shirts. He's their most generic soldier, and his name's Robert Graves. Really cool figure. One thing I always liked about Grunt and the basic soldiers was the idea that they were the backbone of the military, that these are the guys that are actually getting the job done out in the field, putting their life on the line. The basic soldier always had an appeal to me. And as you look at the figure, you can see we got these rivets, just like the original figure, on the elbow, on the shoulder here, and also when we turn him to the back, you notice he's got big screw in his back, just like the original figure. The thing to note about these is they're all fake. They're not metal. That's a faux screw. What they've done is they've used plastic. And I said this in the Rock and Roll review, and I'm going to say it again here. Really smart choice. At first thought, when I seen the Rock and Roll and I realized that they were plastic, I was slightly disappointed until I thought, you know, these were built to last long term. Using the plastic, we won't have any rust issues, and it also won't affect the plastic. Sometimes the color would change from the plastic touching the metal. He's also got the faux screws down by his legs as well. Again, all plastic. One thing that was pointed out after my Rock and Roll review, and I'll credit Form BX257, I believe it is, excellent G.I. Joe reviewer, that they missed the opportunity to make it really completely accurate, in that G.I. Joes didn't produce their figures with just plain silver rivets. They actually tried to color them. They would color them the same color as the figure, like green. So, being that these are molded in plastic, they could have certainly molded them in a greener plastic. But it doesn't really bother me, but it is a missed opportunity to go completely accurate. But again, it's a very minor gripe. So I'm going to go ahead and get into Grunt's accessories. Stay tuned. Okay, so taking a look at Grunt's accessories, we got the most out of the line yet. We get 3 accessories. He's kind of fully loaded if you think of the Foot Locker that we also receive him with, which is way more than we were going to receive out of any of the figures. But the standard release came with these 3 accessories, and so does Grunt. So what we got is the 1982 backpack. Pretty standard issue. You know, it's got the pockets, straps, a couple of pouches, and the infamous plug to plug on to the back of the figures to help cover up the screw holes. And that does fit. briefly show you that. So just like the original figure, plug on the backpack. How cool is that? Fits pretty well too. So getting back to the accessories, we also get the standard issue helmet that we get from most of the figures, at least in the 80s line, with these clear holes, which were, you could consider them ear holes, but mainly the idea was some G.I. Joes had visors that could clip on to their helmets. So really nice job done here. And then also, if you remember my rock and roll review, the helmet didn't match the outfit. Not quite the case here. If you look, color is pretty much a dead-on match, which is awesome. Don't know why rock and roll's helmet was so light in color, but this one definitely is an excellent match. So they got that one right. And then finally, the standard M16A1, or maybe this is the A2, not really 100% sure, but it's the exact same M16 that Grunt came with. Got the handle grip, the small magazine. It's molded in this dull black plastic. It's got a little bit of a sheen, but certainly not as shiny as the figure. It's even got nice, finely sculpted detail here for the sight. So really cool. Excellent reproduction of all of the accessories that Grunt came with. Okay, so now I'm just going to briefly go over Grunt's articulation. So 1982 G.I. Joe was pretty standard in his articulation. Revolutionary a bit at the time compared to other figures in this scale, which was the 3 3/4 scale or 1/18 scale, which is something that the Star Wars line was in at the time, which only had 5 points of articulation. But G.I. Joe got more than that. So with his head, he goes left and right. Arms go out, up. It's on a pin and socket all the way around. Single joint at the elbow. And the waist, these were constructed with a rubber O-ring. These Gentle Giant figures are put together with a bungee cord type material, so it won't degrade over time. Really cool, so you can actually pivot left and right, get some articulation out of that. And then going to the legs, you got legs can go up, down, and out to about that far. And then they would come forward, and you got a 90-degree bend at the knee. So pretty standard. Obviously in 83 they added an articulation point, which was the swivel arm battle grip, which is what most people prefer, myself included, where you would have a swivel point right here at the bicep. But the original 82 Joe, this is a reproduction of, does not. And then I believe in 85 they added the ball jointed neck, so you can pivot the head up and down. But nonetheless, a really nice representation of the 1982 straight arm Grunt. Alright, so taking a look at Grunt now, we're going to do a comparison. Here is Grunt next to his 1982, actually this is the 1983 version of him with the swivel arm battle grip, what I was referring to before. We could swivel the arms in and out. Take a good look at him. Also with this version they did change the hips, and now you've got a true Hasbro logo with the house symbol on it. Slimmer waist as well. And you could see he only comes up to Gentle Giant's 1/6 scale to about his knee. Kind of bring it into more scale here. Yep, right about to the knee area. Panning out from there, another comparison to the 1964 G.I. Joe. This is a reproduction of the 1960s G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip. Just to give you an idea on scale. Grunt is a little bigger than him. But the original G.I. Joes from the 60s weren't really 12-inch figures. They were considered 12-inch, but they actually measured in a little shorter. Most were about 11 and a half inches in actuality. Okay, lastly, here's a comparison to the rock and roll figure from the same line that I took a look at last week. So, scale is perfect. They line right up with each other. They look awesome together, and they bring back tons of nostalgia. If you're a fan of G.I. Joe, you grew up in the 80s, and you collected these guys or played with them, I encourage you to pick this line up. This line is, for me, it's hit a nostalgic spot for me. I just love it. I can't get enough. Can't wait to get more of them. I just think they're so awesome. They're really well made. They've put the effort to do them and do them right. They did them great justice. And it's so cool to have these guys on my shelf as an adult. You know, blown up versions of the original figures I had as a kid. I also encourage you to jump into the line because I'd love to see this line be successful. I want to see more figures. So far we've seen Grunt and Rock and Roll, and we know that on pre-order we have Zap, Snake Eyes, and Stalker. All cool figures, but I want more. I want to see this line go into the swivel arm battle grip. I want to get a Firefly. There's a ton of figures I'd love to get in this version, in this blown up 1/6 scale Jumbo Joe style. So again, if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, you've collected these guys, pick them up, support this line, and let them know that we really want them. The price point is a little higher on these than you would think. Rock and Roll coming in at $80, $90, which isn't really too bad. Of course, Grunt being a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, that's something you'd have to hunt down or check out Gentle Giant's site, which is where I picked up mine. Of course, that's in a higher price bracket. But the figures coming out are going to be a bit more as well. They're closer to the $120, $110 line. But they are really well done. The plastics used are really good quality. The way that they've constructed them using bungee cords instead of actual rubber O-rings will make sure that these figures don't collapse and fall apart. So I say get them. If you're a fan, pick one of these guys up, see for yourself, and that's it. Until next time, thanks as always for watching, subscribing, and commenting. Till next time, guys.